This podcast was written and created by Avi Melamed, Middle East intelligence analyst and founder of the Inside the Middle East Institute.
On August 9th, 2026, three major regional powers, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Pakistan, signed a trilateral defense pact. It's known as the Mecca Agreement. Welcome to today's deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Our mission today is to analyze the source material surrounding this pact. We need to determine for you, the listener, if this represents a genuine operational shift in Middle Eastern security or if it is, well, purely a symbolic gesture. Let's just get right into it.
Well, to really understand this pact, we have to look at what each nation actually brings to the table. I mean, Saudi Arabia provides the economic engine, vast energy resources, and, its central status in the Islamic world.
Right. And the other two.
Turkey contributes advanced military technology. Specifically, they have proven operational experience with drones and air defense systems. And finally, you have Pakistan, which offers a massive standing military, critical geographic positioning, and crucially, nuclear capabilities.
It kind of reminds me of a corporate merger.
Mm-hmm.
Each nation brings a vital department to the new company. But having distinct assets on paper is very different from functional interoperability.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, how do these pieces actually integrate? A Turkish drone purchased with Saudi capital doesn't just automatically secure a regional shipping lane against their primary competitor, which is Iran.
No, it doesn't. The mechanism here really relies on geographic and economic coordination.
Right.
Geographically speaking, Turkey and Pakistan now flank Iran on two sides.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So if they integrate Turkish drone surveillance over Pakistani airspace and Saudi waters, they can theoretically create this shared defensive umbrella, and that helps secure energy routes against Iranian pressure.
There's also a major narrative shift happening here, which is strategically very clever. I mean, Iran, whose power base is Shia, has spent years framing Middle Eastern conflicts as this binary struggle of the West versus Muslims.
Right, exactly.
But by forming a security bloc composed of three undeniably major Sunni Muslim states, it fundamentally dismantles Tehran's established religious narrative, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. That narrative pushback is precisely why this is happening right now, alongside a broader global shift. Regional governments are increasingly perceiving a decline in American deterrence.
Because they feel they can no longer rely exclusively on Washington for defense.
Right. The assumption is they need regional autonomy.
I do have to challenge the actual deterrence value of this agreement, though. If the goal is regional self-policing, it is already failing the practical test.
You're talking about the Houthi test?
Yes, the Jizan attack. Just before the ink was even dry on the Mecca agreement, the Houthis claimed an attack on a Saudi Aramco facility in Jizan. If an adversary tests your new defense pact on day one and succeeds, does this agreement actually have any real teeth?
Well, the lack of an immediate coordinated military response to that Jizan attack is exactly why they are leaning so heavily into optics right now. They don't have proven joint military mechanics in place yet.
So they use symbolism instead.
Yeah, they need the symbolism of signing in Mecca, which is Islam's holiest city. It helps them project an image of unified Sunni power to Iran and its proxies.
That projected unity has a glaring omission, though. Egypt possesses the largest Arab military, yet they are completely absent from this pact. What specific friction kept Egypt away from the table?
The geopolitical analyst Avi Melamed provides some really crucial context here. Avi Melamed points out that Egypt's overarching policy is to pursue partnerships, but avoid binding alliances.
Because they want to avoid getting dragged into costly conflicts.
Yes, and to maintain their status as regional mediators, but there is also specific strategic friction between Cairo and Ankara.
Right, I was going to ask about that. What are the major disagreements keeping them apart?
Well, Avi Melamed explicitly notes that despite some recent diplomatic warming, Turkey remains a major stumbling block for Egypt. They have deep ongoing disagreements over influence in Libya, ambitions in the Red Sea, and Turkey's continued support for the Muslim Brotherhood.
So when observers start throwing around the term Muslim NATO to describe this pact, it sounds incredibly premature given those internal fractures. It's kind of like buying a gym membership.
How do you mean?
Well, having the contract doesn't mean you actually have the muscle or the deterrence. True alliances are measured by the wars they prevent.
That is a great analogy, and the Muslim NATO label is highly premature. In fact, Avi Melamed strongly urges caution against using that label at all.
Due to the historical tensions, I imagine.
Yes, he cites the deep historical mistrust that still lingers between Saudi Arabia and Turkey. That was heavily exacerbated by the Jamal Khashoggi murder, as well as competing regional influence.
Are there precedents for this kind of pact falling short?
There are. Avi Melamed highlights a very relevant historical precedent. Pakistan and Saudi Arabia actually signed a bilateral defense pact back in 2025. Yet, when Saudi Arabia faced Iranian attacks shortly after, Pakistan's practical military response was virtually non-existent.
Which means an agreement is really only as strong as the willingness to deploy forces when called upon. And for you listening, this matters because these countries are trying to secure the shipping lanes that literally fuel the global economy.
Absolutely. Any shift in this power dynamic directly impacts international commerce and your energy security. The broader picture here is a region attempting to navigate its own security architecture without a dominant superpower holding its hand.
Which leads to a critical question to leave you with today. If these regional middle powers are entirely taking security into their own hands, especially with a nuclear-armed state like Pakistan in the mix, how does a localized shipping lane dispute not instantly escalate?
It's a very serious concern.
Right. Will this self-policing result in long-term stability, or could it trigger a rapid, highly volatile regional arms race? That is something for you to consider as this situation develops.
This podcast is made possible by supporters like you. ITME is an independent, nonprofit institute committed to apolitical, intelligence-based Middle East education.
To learn more or to support our work, visit our website www.insidethemiddle-east.com.